This is the Rising Goddess Podcast, and I'm your host, Michelle Torrance. This is a space where when we start diving deep, we're talking spiritual, mental, and physical. We're getting real and connecting with ourselves and others in the most intimate ways. We'll be talking all things sacred sexual, relationship building, womb healing, connection, and connecting with and through our bodies, how to use our sexual and sensual energies to create, manifest, and heal our lives in our individual and collective ancient feminine lines, while intertwining our healing and connection with the divine masculine. We'll learn from amazing humans who take time and share their wisdom and sacred healing magic. Rising humans who are here in this world to be healers, teachers, guides, priestesses, warriors, shamans, and all divine sisters and brothers in rising. We'll get witchy, sassy, sexy, and saucy, talking all things that align us with our true nature and authentic selves, creating a community of divine feminine and masculine rising to be a massive part in this shift of world healing. So grab some green juice, light some cannabis, get your blankets, or sit by the fire. Let's rise up together. Catch you on the inside, dolls. Hello, my beautiful rising humans, and welcome to this next episode of Rising Goddess Radio. And today we are talking moon cycles. Now, I did an episode on this in the very, very beginning of the show when the show started, but I have learned even so much more, not only personally, but through the research and everything, because of course I created the period business cycle into success, which is a guide it started for women entrepreneurs, but it's truly for any woman who is really just wanting to align up with their bodies, shift their relationships with their menstrual cycle, and really learn how to tap into their own personal hustle and flow, however that looks for them, whether they're an entrepreneur or not. But this is really especially fantastic for entrepreneurs, because in the entrepreneur world, we've been in this mode of hustle, hustle, hustle. And if you've been in the entrepreneur world for a while, you're starting to see this shift where everyone is moving into flow, flow, flow. And as humans, we tend to go and we live in pendulum swings, right? So we'll be in one area of our life, right? Hustle, 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 hustle. And so we will pendulum swing all the way over to the other one, flow, 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 but without the harmonizing energy of both. And so then what we do is we start to compare ourselves and where we're at in our business or our lives, and we compare it with other women, and we see that they're hustling, but we're not hustling. So then we feel that we need to hustle while they're hustling. And then we see them flowing, and then we're like, well, but we want to hustle, but we see them flowing and they're succeeding. So then we should probably flow too. And so then we try and emulate other women's cycles to be our own, instead of fully falling in love and aligning and connecting with our own cycles, and then really tapping into our own personal hustle and flow. So just because she's over there hustling at this moment in time doesn't mean that it's your time. It may be, you may be in your hustle zone at this moment in time, but if you're not, that doesn't mean that you're not succeeding, or that you're not doing something, or that you're not living your life or stepping up or showing up to your business. That just means that you're in your personal flow at that time, and that flow may look differently for each and every single human and woman who is experiencing that. So as I'm recording this episode, we just had the new moon on the 12th and 13th. Yesterday was Friday the 13th, so it was Goddess Day, which is always a fun thing to talk about, and it really is a part of this episode. So let's bring up Goddess Day. What is Goddess Day? Goddess Day happens on Friday the 13th. Fridays are actually Venus days. So Venus is the goddess of love. Venus is goddess. This is the one alignment. So on Fridays, this is why a lot of women do self-care on Fridays. And maybe they may not even realize why they do it on Fridays. They may think just because it's Friday, but ultimately inside there's this internal pull to have self-care on Fridays because it is Venus Day. That is the day, the goddess of love, where we show ourselves our love. We honor our goddessness within us, and we do self-care. And that means buying us flowers or taking a wonderful bath or whatever self-care means for you in the form of honoring and celebrating, right? That's what Fridays are, Venus days. So Friday the 13th is Goddess Day specifically. 13 is an extremely intense feminine number. First of all, there are 13 moon cycles within the year, right? So that the lunar calendar is 13 months. And the average woman has roughly 13 periods a year as well. So all of that is lined up. Also, we could even take it back to, which we'll go into a different conversation, but back to the Magdalene, Mary Magdalene being the 13th apostle. And so there's so much tied in with the number 13, and my birthday is the 13th. I turned 13 on Friday the 13th, and every Friday the 13th has always been my luckiest day, and I never really understood why. I never felt this nervousness or anxiety about it. And so as I've grown and I've melded and stepped into the priestess, the goddess that I am, I fully understand why now it's always been a great day for me, because I have been aligned with goddess during that time. I've been honoring that energy and that vibration. So yesterday being Friday the 13th, it was Goddess Day, and usually Goddess Day happens between the new moon and the full moon, but this time it happened during the new moon energy. We had the dark moon on the 12th into the 13th, new moon on the 13th, and there's mainly 8 cycles, moon cycles to break down, but in my guide, I actually break it down in 10. And in those 10 cycles, it really helps define really the energy and the shifts of the moon's energy. And of course, tying it in with your own menstruation cycle, the days of your cycle, you can really harness and create the days and the actions and the business and the life that you want based off, again, of your own cycle. So we had Friday the 13th, Goddess Day, on the new moon energy. We also, at this point in time, when I'm recording this, Jupiter has gone direct, and and the new moon is in Cancer, which is an extremely emotional, right? Cancer's water sign, water, cups, tarot, cups, emotional, emotions. Excuse me. So, but all of that emotions and all of that is happening right now. And then we're also moving into a pre-shadow for retrograde, which I'm going to do another episode on retrograde and share that too. But so our moon cycles, right? Why is tapping into our own personal moon cycle so important? Why is having a relationship with our menstruation cycle so important? Why is shifting this perspective that we have of our cycle so important? So many of us have lived our lives and grown up, and even as women, even older women moving into menopause or in menopause, have had this terrible, terrible, terrible relationship with our periods. We've had pain with them. We've had the anger and the cravings, and we have focused on the negative energy and the shame and the taboo and the dishonoring of our cycles. We have been tapped into that vibration. It comes up because that is what we have been conditioned to believe for so long. We as women used to celebrate and honor our cycles every single month. I mean, just before, okay, so look, before, I feel like I'm going to go into all sorts of different things, starting to get all passionate. When I get passionate, I start getting sweaty. When I get sweaty and passionate, then I just start going off. But we would celebrate and honor ourselves, that we had red tents. This is what women would do. They would go and they would have red tents events. And this wasn't just all over. I mean, there was so many different ways and celebration and ways of celebrating that women would do, ways of honoring their cycles that women would do in all the different cultures. And it was all tied back into fully understanding and realizing that the miraculous experience of bleeding every single month and not dying. We as women, when we have our periods, we go through a complete death and rebirthing every single month. So learning and having a relationship with your cycle and your period in a way that is honoring, in a way that is loving, in a way that is supporting is so important. But see, what happened is years ago, right? Ancient years ago, the patriarchy started to come up. And yes, we're diving into this patriarchy because this is where it's at right now. People are becoming aware. People are aware of it. People are ready to shift it. People are ready to no longer allow the patriarchy to condition and lead this world, right? But men were so afraid that women were actually bleeding every month and not dying that we were so mysterious, and they were afraid of us. So instead of learning and connecting and supporting, they wanted to shame and turn it into this evil experience, this dark thing, this disgusting thing, this shameful thing, to send women away and to cover it up and not talk about it and not do all these things. And it's been ingrained in our vibrational experience to have this shame with our periods. So no wonder women hate it. No wonder there's pain that's coming through, right? Cramps with our periods, painful cramps that's not what's supposed to happen. Our bodies can have periods without painful cramps like that, without all of that terrible responses that we have. We can actually allow ourselves to feel the emotions and the shifts of our bodies and the shifts of our hormones. We can allow ourselves to connect with that, experience that, but then allow it to tap in and start to heal ourselves. Every now and then I've talked about yoni steams, and I am just fascinated with them. I'm looking to build my own chairs to sell in the Rising Goddess store. But yoni steaming is a natural process that's been done for ancient times. Ancient times, women have been doing this. And what it does is that it starts to heal ourselves. Cramps are a sign of holding on to something toxic, whether Louise Hay has a book where like everything that's wrong in the body, there's a spiritual connection to it and how you can really overcome and start to heal and move past it. And cramps is one of those things. It's telling you that something is wrong in your body, whether it's physically, whether there's something physically wrong with the human body that you are having with this life, right? Or whether there's something mentally, emotionally, spiritually wrong that you are experiencing, and it's connecting and manifesting through cramps. That's why womb healing is so important right now. The mother wound, the womb healing, the aligning, the connecting, the re-insurging of the feminine, the relationship that we are to rebuild with our cycles is so important. We truly create life. We are the creators of life. Through the womb is what we create our life with. And as the collective, as women are starting to really start to learn and shift and actually get curious about their cycles and want to tap into this, want to really tap into their own personal goddessness, want to really understand what is happening down there, then that is what starts to break the ice of shame in our sexuality and our sexual energy. When we start to allow ourselves to connect with our periods in a way, and our menstrual cycles in a way where we are honoring, where we are getting curious, where we are tapping in spiritually with it, then we start to remove and release sexual shame that is tied around in those areas. And as we start to release and remove sexual shame, then we can really start to tap into desires and really start to create a life, because we are allowing ourselves to desire. We are allowing ourselves to tap into the manifesting energy, the creation energy. Our sexual energy is our creation energy. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about so much more than that. We're going to do another episode on that as well. But the sexual energy is the life force within us. We birth through our wombs. And so if we have a terrible relationship with our cycles, if we have a terrible relationship with our bodies, and we we hate our bodies, or you want to stab your vagina with a pitchfork, or you want to, pound and beat the shit out of your abdomen or your body, or you don't even want to be a woman. You just wish you had a penis at this time. Like, these are all things that are destroying the relationship and destroying and deconstructing your ability to manifest and desire and create things, because you are not honoring the true original space from which that creation is coming from. So it's so important. And when you start to really shift, then you start to treat your body differently. You start to see your body differently. And when you do that, then that moves into a cycle of healthy construction, reconstruction of love and self-love and honoring and awareness. And then you start to learn to trust yourself. You're able to start to tap into your own intuition, and you feel this feeling. You feel it in your solar plexus. And you have this gut feeling, right? This, oh, you know what? I need to do this, or I need to take this step, or I need to call this person, or I need to write this post, or whatever it is. Then you start to do that, and you start to trust your intuition. And when you start to trust your intuition, and you start to trust your body, you start to trust yourself, then you can really start to make massive impact in this world. And that's why this guide that I created, it was specifically for entrepreneurs in the beginning, because as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We are creators. We create things. We are on the leading edge. All of us are, but we are putting ourselves out there, and we are creating our desires and manifesting them. And so, by learning how to have a healthy, loving, unconditional relationship with your body, it starts with your womb space, especially as women. That's where our lower belly is, right? We always I hate my belly. I just want to cover this up. I wish I could just cut it off. All of these things, right? Down in that area, we have had so much shame and so much discontent and so much disgust for it that we have lost touch with our miraculous creation that is us. So moon cycles, right? Utilizing, tapping in, readjusting, reviewing. We are moving into a retrograde, right? In a week and a half, we're moving into Mercury retrograde. And so we are in this pre-shadow. And this is an opportunity to truly renew, review, reevaluate, reconstruct your relationship with your womb space, with your body, with your menstrual cycle. And with this guide, knowing what to do, learning that your hustle right now is this space, and you'll be hustling. You'll know what action steps to do. You feel aligned to do it. You feel energized to do it. You feel confident to do it. And then you know that when you're moving into a different vibration, you'll start to feel that. You'll start to be aware of that. You'll be in tune with that vibration. You're like, oh my gosh, my vibration is shifting. My energy is shifting. I'm starting to move into a different type of flow now. I'm starting to move into a different type of receptiveness now. And you really start to then really understand your body, and you love your body. And when our relationships with our body is so key. On my episode with Katie Pasternak, we talked about having a healthy relationship with our body is so important, because if we don't feel strong, if we don't feel sexy, if we don't feel confident within our bodies, then that's going to translate to every other area in our life. It's going to translate to our business. It's going to translate to our relationships. And so if we are constantly every single month hating and shaming and disgusting and going into this vibration of just pure every single month, because of the actual miraculous creation experience that is happening within your body, because of the death that we are experiencing and the rebirthing that we are experiencing, if you are constantly going into this hatred cycle of it, then of course you're not going to love your body. Of course you're not going to be able to allow yourself to desire. Of course you're going to still hold on to sexual shame. Of course you're going to still hold on to codependency and all of these vibrations and things that don't serve you. Your body is a miraculous thing. It is a miraculous experience. And you were given the gift of dying and rebirthing to create and birth something new every single month and be a part of this expansion and this creative expansion that we are living in right now. It's such an amazing responsibility. It's such an amazing, miraculous, magical thing. And so learning how to really love your body and have a much different relationship with your cycle is going to completely change your life. It's going to change your life. So what's exciting for me is that I have put my guide on discount. I've created, it comes with a tracker, it comes with journal questions, it comes with support, it comes with a breakdown of all the different moon phases, it comes with a daily breakdown of your cycle and every single day and how you're feeling throughout that day, what action steps to take personally and business-wise, what rituals, what questions to ask yourself, all sorts of these amazing things for you to learn how to readjust and reevaluate and renew your relationship with your body. So this is so exciting, and just talking about it now, I've had this passion for so long, and I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. And we have so many people coming back with so many great things, people are really shifting their lives and their business. They're taking opportunities, they're taking action during the time of doing, and then they're resting and not feeling bad for resting. And while they're resting, they're getting downloads, they're connecting, they're aligning with spiritually, they're getting deeper in their spiritual work. And then when the time comes for them to take the action for the opportunity, they're taking actions at the opportunities that are being presented. Incomes are rising. People are attracting more opportunities in their life that, people are saying they can't believe it's like this accurate, that it's working for them. Like they really are starting to love their body. And so I'm just so passionate about this. And I know that this is really such a huge thing right now that we are on the verge of, and having a relationship with our menstrual cycles, learning our intuition, trusting our intuition, understanding the vibration and the energies that are coming from the cosmic space time and the moon, which is really involved with our emotions and tied in with us as women in our cycles specifically. You can really harness all of this and create a magical freedom life. So as you can tell, I'm super passionate about periods and all that comes with it. So thanks for listening. I'd love to carry this conversation. And if you're wanting to get your guide, head over into the show notes, and there'll be a link there to go to my website right there, and you can go ahead and grab it and start changing and building a relationship with yourself, your cycle, and start to shift your life. Love yourself. Love your body. Do you feel that when you love your body? No matter what, miraculously, magically creating life every single month. Shifting and growing. You go, girl. So, thanks for hanging on. I'm so glad we had this conversation, and I will catch you on the next time. Later.